Well, hey there, idiots. Welcome back to Observe. In today's video, I'm going to be analyzing the nonverbal communication of a compilation of the show 90 Day Fiancé. My wife went and found a whole pile of video clips to be able to work from, so today is going to be based largely off of the universal emotions that everybody has, with some flash-based lining as well in there, but this is going to be gauged largely towards having a good time, enjoying other people's dumpster fire lives. So we'll go ahead and run through this. And as things go on, I'll give you my opinions from an analyst standpoint and just try to maintain my sanity as things continue on. Let's go ahead and roll the little intro thingy. Now, I'm not totally certain as to which years we're working through or which people we're working through. I haven't seen any of this footage before for this specific analysis. There's the possibility, maybe, that I've seen some sprinkled around on the internet, but this is the first time I'm seeing this. This is probably the first time you'll be seeing this, so let's just have a good time all the way around with this.
I'm not that wealthy to like compensate for all of the things that you like that are really expensive that you want like right now.
All those things.
No, I mean eventually I can get them, but you want everything like today.
I mean, today I told you.
Like you want it today.
Oh, I didn't know.
Why can't you?
Okay, so her face is going to be difficult to read because she obviously has some sort of cosmetic work done. As far as I can tell so far, they must be talking about personal wealth or belongings or something along those lines, and she's showing a lot of agitation behaviors, needless to say, so far, and he's trying to convince her of something that I'm already quite certain that this is not going to go too well, just from the basic feeling that we're getting from these people. Let's see what happens.
You seem upset.
Yeah, because I just don't understand why you 48, but you still don't have anything.
I had a big home and I had cars and all that. That's what can happen in a divorce.
I have to say, what chaotic camera angles. It's like they're being spied upon from miles away. So we're seeing a good bit. This would be an example of frustration non-verbally. Also, I want to be able to let you know that a lot of this, since it is filmed as a reality TV show, a lot of this has been done once before, or it's heavily coached or heavily scripted. So we're going to have to look at that and take that into consideration as we go on, that a lot of this that we're going to see in general is going to be fairly forced, just due to the nature of the programming. So it's not going to be hugely educational for you, but we could still at least just watch this.
In a divorce.
That's before, not now. You have to think now. You have to think about future.
Absolutely.
You don't have to talk about your past. I don't want to hear anything.
Well, you asked me, why don't you have? Well, I'm explaining to you why I...
His voice is increasing, his pitch and his tone are increasing. That means that he's getting more and more stressed. As you hear somebody's tone increase and their pitch increase, and you can hear the strain on their vocal cords, that's an indicator of agitation. It means that they're getting less and less happy about the situation. So he's becoming more and more desperate. She doesn't care how desperate he's getting about it. He's talking about the past rather than the future, blah, blah, blah. Let's keep watching.
You think most Americans have money. That's not true.
Yeah, I see now.
Well, that's only on TV.
So with that smile where she's saying, yeah, I see that now, it's heavily driven by disgust. You can tell by the corners of her nose there and also the furrowing of her eyebrows. Now, obviously, they're outside. Sunshine is going on, so you could see that the eyebrows are furrowed anyways. But she's pretty disgusted with the lack of money that this gentleman has, which is probably something they should have covered earlier on. But again, it's 90 Day Fiancé, so there's not a lot of time to cover this early on.
Yeah, economic down and bank take everything, but really? You don't have any safety money or emergency money.
If you want somebody that already has $1 million in the bank, I'm sorry, I don't.
Yeah, every lady wants. Of course. Yes. And are you sure you can take...
Every lady out there, do you want $1 million in the bank? I don't know if that's limited to ladies. I would also like $1 million in the bank, but she's having difficulty explaining how she's feeling to this guy because he's so defensive.
I'm sure as hell we're gonna try. Yes. That I'm sure of.
Ooh, strong disgust look there. So you can tell that by the movement of the corner of her mouth here, raising up a little bit, narrowing of the eyes, looking away. There's a small eye roll in there as well. If you see this in any sort of conversation that you're having with your significant other, friend, family relation, so on and so forth, that conversation's not going well. You have to find a new approach. Something gives me a feeling he's not going to find a new approach, but he should. He should find a new approach.
That I'm sure of.
Okay.
I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make this thing.
Disgust mixed with contempt and anger. This would be scorn to disgust and contempt. I don't care what happens from this point on. It's highly unlikely that they are going to last I don't know if they'll even last the 90 days beyond that, but this is not going super well at all.
That's your job, not mine.
I know.
Because I am your lady. If you don't take care of me, then just say bye.
My sisters
If
were
you don't
saying
take care of me, just say bye. Yeah, actually, you know what? I don't know if that's totally fair. It's not really balanced or anything like that. It doesn't sound like a partnership. Kind of sounds like something else, but oh well. So that was fun. That's fun. We're going to go ahead and move on to a new couple, it looks like. I don't know the situation with this. I don't know what's going on with any of this. So we're about to just kind of find out together.
That they think that I've changed a lot since we started dating each other.
What about it?
So during this time, she has a lot of halting in her phrasing, which means that she's measuring her words very specifically. She also has a lot of blinking, psychological processing. She's trying to figure out a way to say possibly harsh thing in a nice way. You can probably catch yourself doing the same exact thing, or you've seen somebody doing it as well. It's very common. So we're about to see how he's going to react. So far, from what I can tell, it's not super hot. So let's find out.
They're concerned because they're like, well,
Drinking water, raising eyebrows, looking off to the side. He doesn't care what she's saying about his character, which I don't know if that's super good. If somebody has a criticism about your character, it's better to listen, but we'll see. We'll see how this happens.
I told them that you're not into like girls' night necessarily, and
Not about girls. night. I'm
and they're
just-
like, so he's not gonna let you.
So a very massive expression of confusion, frustration perhaps, a little bit of disgust when corners of his nose have activity in there. So he's feeling confused and disgusted by whatever she's talking about with the girls' night thing. So I don't know if this is something that they had in their history that they were talking about before, but he's frustrated by it and disgusted by it. That's what I can see so far.
To like go out with us or whatever, and I'm
Maybe
like,
it's-
no,
it's-
let me finish. I'm like, no, but he feels he should.
That specific gesture where they go like this, that thing, that's usually a frustration gesture. It's also based out of self-soothing. People will do those oral movements like that for self-soothing gestures. Regardless, he's not happy, not happy that she said, no, let me finish. That was also accompanied by the sudden closing of the mouth and sitting back lightly. So he's taken aback and frustrated, rather offended that she interrupted him. Let's see what happens.
Go with you, like the man should go with you, and they're like, how are we gonna just be our like girls and just like go out with each other?
Listen, at that point when I said, but there is no girls' night, where I forbidded you like to go out and something.
Forbidden me?
When I told you like not to go out, I said no, like to a fact, but
Baby.
you stop with it, alright? Let me explain. I was
Okay, so you can see on her eyes that he's walking on extremely thin ice right now. Just note to whoever's out there and in a relationship, never say that you forbid the other person from doing anything because you'll come across as a dick. So just don't. And I'm hoping, I don't know, but I'm hoping she goes off just a tiny bit, but I'm not sure. So we'll find out here in a second. Regardless, that's just terrible. Don't say that.
to you, you listen to me, alright?
Ooh, she's got a lot of disgust coming in there, and her lip compression, and you can even see it flashing in the corner of her nose. She has a lot of disgust in regards to that. No, duh. Very, very obvious. Many people would have disgust if somebody said, I forbid you to do something. It's kind of a dick move.
I accept you going with your sisters. I'm not gonna forbid you like to go, like in between your family. I will never do that. Family for me, like it's just the most
Okay,
important.
alright.
But like you're not going to go out like till 4 o'clock in the morning and just come out like you want to go. That's not an option. You want to go. I want to go too, but we cannot go together. But if you want to have something special and it's like a girls' night, you can go. But you have an obligation towards me because I'm worried about you and you're gonna come in time. You're not gonna go like stab me in the back. Like that's not happening.
Andre.
Why?
That's like a girls' night. We'll be celebrating. We'll, you know, probably go to clubs or bars or whatever.
Celebrate
And like
what?
that, I'm engaged and I'm about
Why'd
to
you
be
say
married.
club? You're gonna go to a club. Really?
Not like a dirty club, but like a to dance
really?
with my girlfriends. I'm not allowed to do that.
I'm kind of getting a little bit of insecurity from this guy. He's showing aggression in areas that there shouldn't be too much aggression in, and that's usually based off of somebody who's feeling threatened in an area when there's unfitting aggression in this area. So he has some aggression towards her going out and having drinks or having a good time with her friends, and that's usually based off of some form of insecurity. Not always, obviously, but that's what those aggression signals that he's showing right during this time would make the most sense for. Otherwise, he's just angry at her for existing and going out to clubs, which doesn't make as much sense. But let's keep watching.
Really? You're gonna go to a club and just like on your bachelor party? Sounds stupid, I guess, yeah?
So I can't go celebrate with my girlfriends.
Just
about
listen.
getting
Think
engaged
about
and
the
my
fact. Think
sisters.
about the fact.
Just listen line is one of my least favorite lines. This is not the most elegant way of trying to communicate your point, and many people obviously will say things in an argument that they don't mean, but he's now done this repeatedly and repeatedly and repeatedly. I don't know why she's wanting to stick around is my biggest question. Probably because of the reality TV show, but like at this point, my question is, why are you there? Like, why would you stick around with that sort of behavior? Just go ahead and find somebody who's not so self-centered and insecure. It probably will do better for you.
You'd go to a restaurant, you can have a bottle of Prosecco,
Baby,
like with your
that's not
girls, and
fun.
have a supper together, or like
Supper? Don't you want me to have fun?
You don't put me double standards. I'm explaining it one more time. You're gonna be married like soon.
It's a bachelorette party. That's
It doesn't matter. You're a woman.
That was a mess. That was rough. It actually brings to mind, there was this time that my wife and I were going for a dinner back in one of the cities that we were living in, and there was this couple that was just across the way. We were sitting there pleasantly having this nice basted chicken, wonderful meal. But a lot of our enjoyment of the meal was distracted from, because across the way there was a couple that was having a very heated and very audible argument that gives off very similar vibes to this very uncomfortable display. Man, this is just a mess. And we're not halfway through. There's so much more mess to get through. Looks like we're back over to this couple again. Let's see what's happening now.
What?
So basically, you're saying if I can't provide, I'm worthless to you.
I don't understand what's wrong about it. If I was
If you can't provide, you're worthless to me. I don't know if that's the best mindset. That kind of feels a little entitled there, but you can tell from her initial expression, one, it's hard to be able to read, like I said, because of the cosmetic stuff that she has done. But she's holding a very, very intense gaze without blinking, and that's a defiance gesture whenever anybody's holding that strong of a gaze with that specific, for her, partial expression. That means that you're not going to find much wiggle room in that conversation. She's not going to wiggle around on her side of things or bend too much. She's pretty well set that if he can't provide, then he means nothing to her. And nothing's wrong with that, according to her. So that's exciting. Let's go ahead. Let's keep watching to see how this goes. It's going to go well, I'm sure.
ugly and fat, would you be dating me?
Okay, I don't know if that's her saying that but that's rough anyways. Anyway.
If you were who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, I don't want to see you here.
Such chaotic body language on this show. The entire time, it's just like amplified up to 10 the whole time. And I know that that's partially due to the coaching of the show. I've heard some behind the scenes of shows like this where they're like, we need you to go out there and be as dramatic as possible to make it entertaining for people. So there's that possibility, but boy, are they doing a good job. And a lot of it's synchronized with what they're saying. So they're not really lying with what they're showing. It might just be a little bit over the top, but my goodness.
Anymore, okay? You are not welcome here. You understand that? I have things to do. Take your stuff and leave. You are not welcome here. So...
Our marriage, you have not been an active partner, spouse to me since we got married. I believe in marriage and
This
take
is too much for
my
me.
vows
This is too
seriously.
Woof. Okay, so what I'm gathering is that this couple is married already, and I don't even care. I don't even care. Never say you're not welcome here to your spouse, significant other, relationship. Just don't. Wow. Yeah, you're not welcome here, and I have things to do is extremely rude. From what I'm telling, a lot of these guys need to little slip slap right there. Like, that's extremely rude stuff to say to anybody, especially the person that you're supposed to be married to or dating. Like, that's a nightmare. Wow.
I don't want to hear
I
about
married
this.
you
This is too
because
much
I
for me.
loved you. And because I have
So he has obvious disgust on his face while he's turning away. Also, it's pretty hard to miss as he's saying, I don't want to hear this, and turns away and walks away in the middle of her sentence. I know nothing about her so far, but from what I'm seeing from him, he has some pretty substantial ego issues. Let's keep watching.
You can take this too, so you know how serious this is.
That was nice of you.
You're a user, Muhammad. You used me. You told me what I wanted to hear.
Okay, this would be the classic expression of anger to its full-blown extent. You'll see the bottom chin jutting out some, the narrowing of the eyes, the lowering and furrowing of the brow, the pointing. These are all very overt aggression signals. If you see this anywhere, then things are about to go down. I don't know if it's going to be a physical altercation here, but if you see this in your personal life, be prepared for it to go physical, because it's a very small nudge away from that. So just keep that in mind, but woof.
Hold on, Hassan, wait. You can't just drag her around.
Why are you yelling?
I need you to, like, pay attention.
What?
Why do you just stare at me like that?
Okay, so this is already, I know that this is going to be messy just due to the fact that there's a child brought in, and you can tell that their mindsets are different. Even from this teeny tiny blip here, there's something that's different in their mindset. So this is going to be messy. I'm oh my goodness.
Don't tell me what to do, because I know already.
Hassan!
I know, because I know.
Why?
So you can hear the T's really coming out. That enunciation, that over-enunciation is something that's also very common in aggression and anger. That don't tell me what to do, that side of things. That sort of enunciation and alliteration is going to be more common in times that people are extremely frustrated and angry and trying to amplify that without raising their voice. That's where you'll hear that come in. Let's keep watching.
I'm saying don't tell you what to do.
Please just stop, because that's
Don't.
infuriating. I don't know how to see it. Never, yeah.
Look at you.
Oof. Okay, so I'm assuming in that specific culture, it's probably rude to have an argument out in public, but man, these are just so messy. All of this entire concept of this show is it's a dumpster fire all the way through. Like, oh my. Okay, so it looks like we're back with this couple again. We'll see. When we left off with it, it felt like from what they showed, they weren't going to last. We'll see if that alters or changes or does anything. Maybe they worked it out. Maybe that was a really garbage area and they work it out. Let's find out.
You're not fine. You say you want to stay?
You're not fine. I'm fine. That's no. That's a no, I'm not fine. So if you ever say that to your significant other, you say, you're obviously not fine. And they say, I'm fine. But they have a micro movement no of the head, which you can see here. And then they look off, break eye contact, look away, and have a contempt smile on their face. That absolutely means they're not fine. Just keep your eye out for that, because that is a very clear indicator that nothing's fine. Nothing's fine at all. And he has moral or intellectual superiority about it as well, which just means that he not only is not fine, but he also believes himself in whatever argument that we're about to see to also be in the right. So let's go ahead and see what happens here.
What's about me?
I'll go sit over there.
I'm here for who? I'm here for you.
Well, you're not here for yourself.
For myself too.
I sleep on the floor tonight.
Oof, that was messy as well. So his expression during that time is constant contempt. He feels aloof in that situation, morally or intellectually superior. And so when he asks that question, you're not here for you, he has an overt expression of confusion because he knows. And she gets caught out in that. So her pitch increases and her tone increases and the fragility of her voice increases to where she's, I'm here for me too. And that's an indicator of strain and agitation in her side of things. So that was a little tick on his argument belt, but that entire thing is not a good dynamic at all. If they stick together, they're gonna need some form of therapy. I'm gonna need some form of therapy. Let's keep watching.
She's like, you, I'm here now.
What's she talking about, David?
Are you okay?
You are in the...
No is the answer to that question. Are you okay? And you can see that she's having a hard time wrestling back whatever emotion she's feeling. There's a little bit of disgust coming in there. Also with the furrowing of the eyebrows. It's not furrowing down and inward as if it were anger. It's more furrowing just together, maybe lightly upward, which could be a sign of grief or pain somewhere in there, emotional turmoil. So she's not okay, but it went ahead and did hard cut. I'm wondering if they cut away to give her coaching or if that's just the cut of this compilation. Let's find out.
Wow. Why are you drinking?
When she says don't, I don't.
Never.
See? And she's not lying.
Y'all got to get this together. You need to tell him. Why is that not something to understand?
24?
It doesn't matter how old I am because I understand.
How old are you?
Because I understand. Because
Okay, I don't like this guy. One of my least favorite arguments for anything is how old are you? Because that assumes that with years you gain intelligence. So the how old are you in this side of things should just never be used. It's a lazy argument. So the fact that he used that argument, I don't like him. I'm going to try to ignore that to try to stay unbiased, but this is just a reaction, so I don't care too much. Let's keep watching.
life and the way that it works. I
You
understand.
can't comprehend common sense. A person is hurt. A person is
Because
crying.
guess who else is 24? Your wife.
I don't know who the guy is in the pinky plaid shirt, but he's just like, what is that? Mr. Man in his black shirt over here, he's very confident in himself, very egotistical, not really willing to hear any other sides of an argument. Oddly enough, the other person, she's staying pretty quiet, or just as far as nonverbals go, pretty inactive. Let's see if that changes here.
And I'm 25, by the way.
She's way more mature than you. Age means not a damn thing.
Does Lourdes know that you're back with Infuse?
I feel like she just kind of wanted that whole situation to be over, as did probably most of us. And the guy in the plaid shirt. He wanted it to be over as soon as it started.
Yeah.
When is the last time?
So something interesting to note with her during this specific time. So they're sitting together, right? He has his arm around, and this is obviously lightly posed, but it's the smaller movements that are in this that are going to be more telling. And you can see instead of her sitting with her body towards him as if they were being close together, she's sitting with as much defensive positioning as she can in regards to him. Even though they're sitting close together, they are touching, his arm is around her, she doesn't want to be there. I don't know what they're about to talk about here, but she's not super happy to be positioned that way, and it's showing through just the smaller movements of things. Let's keep watching and see what happens.
I don't know.
Was it when you went to the divorce lawyers?
What do you mean?
No, I went. What? No, I didn't. What's the problem?
So I'm gathering that he went to divorce lawyers behind her back. You can tell that he's been caught out in a bad situation here by the blanking of his face. Right here when she says, when you went to the divorce lawyers, and he's just like, what do you mean? I didn't do that. So now we're getting to see things actually kind of play to its fruition. He's gone behind her back to divorce lawyers for something, and the now I don't want to be here in this position that we got from her earlier through the subtler movements are pretty overt now. It's really hard to miss the movements now, but let's see how this goes.
What's the problem?
No, I didn't know that.
I didn't go to no lawyer. What are they talking about? I'm thinking.
I didn't go to no lawyer. What are they talking about? The biggest issue with this is the desynchronization on his face. His eyes remain pretty dead during that time, even though he is saying, I didn't go to no lawyer. What are they talking about? The nonverbal desynchronization is what would lend me to believe that it's not fully credible, not fully authentic. I wouldn't know just based off of that small little flash of whether or not he's genuinely lying, but it would be a tick towards he's not being fully authentic, so I'd have to explore more. Regardless, she doesn't care. She's not like, oh, I have to find out a baseline. She knows, so she's not impressed. Let's keep going.
About filing for divorce.
I wonder if the proximity of your separation to the...
I think this is the meeting with the lawyers. So now we know that the little tiny micro movements that we saw genuinely did mean that he was in fact lying, because there's video footage of it. Oh my God, what did...
actual receipt of the green card
affects its validity.
Right.
I didn't go to the lawyers. I went to the lawyers with you.
I didn't go to no lawyers. I went to the lawyers with you. And you could feel that drop off in tone, drop off in pitch, drop off in force behind the words. And that shows that he's not confident in his words. This is something that will happen in people who are being deceitful and aren't good at it. They will have that subtle drop off at the very, very end where they're feeling less confident, and it shows up quite clearly. He has it quite clearly in there. So if she knows anything about body language, or if she has a strong intuition in regards to it, then she knows that he's lying at this point. But let's keep watching.
Why can't you just admit what happened?
What am I
Tell me
going to
what
admit?
happened.
What am I going to admit?
So what happened?
Nothing happened.
You went to lawyers.
Still having trouble enunciating well and projecting well. Nothing happened. That lack of force behind his words is an indicator of his own insincerity, or at least his own insecurity in what he's saying. Basically, AKA, he's lying.
You talk about getting a divorce from me.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he did.
It's up to Nancy. Everybody would have 100 kids. Nancy loves children.
I mean, you have to think about all those, years. She would come down and, be with us for weeks, and you did get a lot of help, Dad.
So if I have kids, you will help me?
What?
I mean, if I have children, you can help me?
That's a big if. Who are you having kids with? It's not Dad.
At David's age?
You mean his sperm don't work anymore?
David is the guy name. He's trying with all of his might to communicate the stop talking now look. I don't think it's going to work because we're on reality TV. This is so uncomfortable. This is so uncomfortable all the way around. Oh my gosh.
David can't have children. Did he tell you about his vasectomy?
Yeah, he told me that.
Yeah, she knows. Okay. At 49, without a career, you would restart with a brand new baby?
We have talked about it. If it's possible to do the reversal, yes.
David he has promised me and my family over there to have the kid.
I definitely don't think my dad should have any more children. He was not always there for us growing up, so I doubt it would be any different for the next child. Do we think it's a smart choice for you to have kids right now?
I mean, that's...
I got 3.
Ooh. Man. This is really messy. Ooh. Yeah, this is not good to have both. I believe it's his sister and his daughter are saying this is a horrible idea. That should be a red flag in a relationship if the family of your partner is saying they should never have kids. Might be time to start asking some questions in that relationship. Wow. Man, this is not looking good for them.
Isn't that plenty for you? You got grandkids you can help raise.
Yeah, but it's not mine.
Well, they are. It's yours too, your family now.
Not my kid.
I think Annie's just adamant to have a child and kind of doing it with whomever. I know she's married to Dad, but he might not be the person to give her that child right now. And, she really should have thought about that.
We're not trying to criticize you, but you're asking to borrow money for rent, and here you're talking about starting a new family.
But she doesn't like my...
We're about to get to Big Ed here. This is going to be an adventure. I've seen some of Big Ed. These other people I'm not as familiar with. Regardless, that whole entire previous situation, as far as nonverbals, you can pick up on those. That was so messy. People trying to be forthright, but also not just destroy a person's happiness is always interesting. I'm excited for Big Ed. This was a mess when I've seen the little blips that I've seen of him. These have been woof.
Can I have a kiss?
Oh, I don't know, babe. It's hurt on me. Ouch.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay, here's the deal.
What?
Don't be mad at me, but, last night when I noticed that your legs were kind of like mine. They were hairy.
What?
Yeah. So, I'll make...
There's some contempt and disgust on her face as he's like, hey, your legs were hairy. I want you to... I'm assuming he's going to say, I want you to shave. That's the next logical step, but she doesn't appreciate that, understandably. Oh.
If you shave your legs, I'll shave my beard.
Why? They shave my legs.
Leg hair, it just seems kind of less feminine for a woman. So yeah, I don't like leg hair. It's gross.
It's fine to not like leg hair, but who cares whose leg hair is where and what? Come on, Ed. Really? Like, come on. I would agree with her disgust and contempt in this part. Like,
So it's soft. Your legs will be soft like my skin. Come on. Either that or you kiss me.
Oh, that's not good either. Don't manipulate your way into a kiss. Eesh. Yeah, I agree with her on this front. Oh my god. Oh, this is so messy. People watch this for enjoyment. I'm dying. Okay.
Okay.
I wait for you. I have a favor.
What the favor?
So there's a test that you can take.
Yeah, you test me?
No, yeah, it's a test for I don't know if you understand it. It's STD, which is I think it's a blood test, and they just test to see if you have like sexually transmitted disease. So I was asking if you're willing to take that test. I'll never ask you another question about your past.
It's at that moment where he's like, I've made a mistake. This was the bad thing to ask. Also, looking at her face here, she's got her contempt and disgust slipping back into this. I don't know if Big Ed and her still continued on beyond this point. But from this look, it doesn't look super good. It's not looking super hot for their dynamic. Once again, characterized by disgust and contempt. I think there's like 2 seconds left. Oh, there's 5 seconds left. Let's watch it.
I'm disappointed.
Ooh, that's where we're going to wrap up this little one. That's the end of the compilation. I think there's going to be more of this because I feel like this could be fun. And despite its just total chaos and all of it, it's much more refreshing for me to go through something that's not centered around YouTube drama or some sort of brutal criminal acts. So I appreciate this. I hope you appreciated this as well. All in all, 90 Day Fiancé is arguably one of the worst ideas for a show. Trying to cram 2 people together within 90 days. Man, it's pretty much guaranteed to just be mess after mess after mess. It reminds me almost of Bible college dating. But oh my Lord, that was rough. That was a rough time. If you have any suggestions for more of these, because I do have some more planned and I will be doing a couple more, but if you have specific people or specific shows that are on, I think it's TLC, that you would like me to take a look at, I was also considering maybe the Bachelor or Bachelorette realm as well, because I've heard that that's messy. There's a whole bunch of messy shows, and there's a whole bunch of messy body language in there as well. So I hope you enjoyed looking at these and watching my soul slowly leave my body and descend deep into hell. But it was, like I said, it was refreshing. So if you think of something else that you would like me to be able to see in this realm, go ahead and let me know in the comments below. If you did like this video, go ahead and let me know by hitting the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, hit the bell, follow the links in the description below. We are now officially partnered with the Emotional Intelligence Academy over in the UK. So if you're interested in nonverbal training and would like to be able to receive some from some of the top experts in the world, go ahead and head over to the eiagroup.com. And at checkout, if you're going through any courses other than the diploma and the master's degree, if you enter in the code OBSERVE at checkout, you get 10% off, which is honestly a pretty healthy discount on a lot of these courses. So consider doing that if you're interested in what I do and would like to do something similar. But without further ado, that's all that I've got for the day. My name is Logan, and you have been oh so awesome as you always are. And I will see you in the next video. Cheers, guys. That was a mess. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Now I've got to go, like, shower after that.
That one scene with the
the drunk guy in the pool or whatever it was, there's so much more to that. It is awful.